Puck. I mean, and
That's okay. I did that like just yesterday too while I was playing against them. So
Wow.
All right, so we are gonna lose Graham soon. So
Welcome back to the late game, episode
oh
37.
man,
I'm here with
I gotta
Destiny,
unmute.
Huck.
I gotta mute
Puck.
myself. There we go. Cool. Echo. All right. Anyway, talking about hell, it's about time. Rifkin, the floor is yours.
okay, so it's a tournament we got coming up in August. If you guys haven't heard, well, this is August, so whatever. It's weird to say. We got like about a week to go at this point. It's gonna be the 21st to the 23rd. There's a lot of really cool shit going on for it. We got a lot of really fun stuff planned for the people who are there outside of just having a good tournament. We got things like a photo booth set up. We got an ice cream truck for day 2. Free ice cream, guys. I want to stress. For $600, I didn't know this, but for $600, you can rent out an ice cream truck for 6 hours. They'll provide you an employee to dish out the ice cream for you, and we get 300 servings of soft serve. So if you're coming to the event, get some free ice cream. We're ordering pizza on day 2 as well. It'll be a lot of fun. Lots of great players. Everyone who comes in through the door is going to get a freaking free poster. It's like a full-size StarCraft 2 poster. Blizzard was awesome and donated them to us. So if you guys get your ticket, you're basically buying a poster and then plus a really cool fucking event to go with it. We got some other giveaways going on that we can't really talk about. One of the big ones though that we can talk about is our sponsor Chairs for Gaming is going to be giving away a DX Racer at the end of it. So one of the ones the players or the casters are using, you'll get your pick. It's a $400 value something chair. It's all yours if you come to the event. All you got to do is win it. Other than that, we've been trying to work on getting the prize pool back up. It was originally $17,000 and the Canadian dollar went down the drain, and it's a little bit closer than 13,000. But the Indiegogo just finished up, so we got about 3,000 US dollars raised through that, so that's pretty fucking exciting. We raised about almost 700 on stream today, so I'm hoping we can get that prize pool back up for the players to where it originally was. Because fuck the Canadian dollar right now.
So awesome things. How many portraits? Do you know the number of portraits? Because I know you've raised a lot of money, but do you know how many portraits?
Close to 1,500.
That is fucking awesome.
And it's still going to be like the second most exclusive in-game portrait.
What's that? Is that only to the community one?
Yeah, the community commander badge is apparently going to be like the most exclusive for a while.
I love getting asked, where did you get that cool portrait? Oh, just Blizzard.
Like, how do I get it? I'm like, work really hard.
So, all right. So what about tickets? What's going on with tickets?
Okay, so tickets are available. They are for sale through Eventbrite. I saw a Reddit thread actually just before the show, funny enough, because we had talked about this. And you can buy tickets. It's 27 Canadian for a day pass, or sorry, for a weekend pass. We don't have day passes, so all 3 days for 27 bucks. Player pass is 37 Canadian. And again, because it's Canadian, it's like nothing if you're American coming up from the States. They're fairly cheap. And of course, like I said, you're going to get your value out of the ticket one way or the other through the actual show and enjoying it, or through physical stuff you get to walk away with. There's fairly limited seating. We have I think a max capacity of 250 or something like that. So we got 64 for the players, 160 something for spectators, plus the Kickstarter people who are getting in there.
Cool.
So I think we've like there's still plenty of tickets left. If you guys want to get involved, I hope somebody can link. Do you mind if I link the Eventbrite thing?
Yeah, no, link away. So. From what I understand, you've been running into like some blowback from your ticket prices.
So there's been a lot of, and this is what I asked Lycan if we could talk about this specifically on the show. One of the interesting things is we've had people tell us our tickets are too cheap. We've had some people tell us our tickets are too expensive. And what I was hoping to do is talk with Destiny and Puck, because they've both attended things like MLG and such in the past, and even Lycan as a spectator, I'm sure, where what a fair ticket pricing is. We kind of took the middle ground of what a lot of players had said they paid for like Red Bull and others in the past. But before I give out what I've, I guess, messaged people about, I was just curious if Puck and Destiny could maybe share their experiences paying to play in other events, I don't know, Red Bull or MLG or whatever in the past.
Puck, any thoughts?
What is it, $27?
Yep,
it's 27 for a spectator. Yeah, weekend pass for the spectator, and 37 for the player.
Is that actually like considered a lot of money?
To some.
I don't know. That doesn't really seem like much. I guess I don't know.
Steven, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show. StarCraft kids have always been elitist as fuck and brag that we're like the oldest and most mature and adults in our community. $27 isn't really a lot of money. Like comparable activities, I brought up like movie ticket prices. Like you're probably paying 20 or 30 bucks to see a movie, and if you've got a girl with you, you're paying probably fucking 30, 40, 50 bucks to do it, like depending on how much she eats. You've got fucking I don't know, like a zoo pass for me and like Nathan is like 30 or 40 bucks. Like I don't know. I feel like the dollar amount is fine considering you're getting 3 days of entertainment. I don't see a problem. Like, I wouldn't bat an eye at that. Like, if somebody's like, oh, the tickets are $27, like, for all 3 days, yeah, okay, that's fine.
It's
Whatever.
less than $10 a day to go watch some awesome StarCraft.
Sure.
Yeah, it's funny because I talked to some of the players as well. Again, just trying to gauge opinion. And one of the things I was shocked was I had like, I guess I won't say names here, but I had some tell me that they've paid far more. Like, I guess there was apparently a Red Bull that was like $50, MLG was like 40 or something. Like, I never went to these. I never got to gauge the prices, so I don't have a lot of comparison. So our goal with this, I mean, the whole thing with Hell It's About Time in general is we want everyone to have a good time. You know, we're not trying to make a profit off this. We're definitely not currently making a profit off this. This is just supposed to be one really kick-ass event, and if it's the only event we ever get to do, we want to make sure it's one everybody remembers. So we're trying to make things so prices are fair. We got lots of giveaways at the event, and hopefully if you guys are in the Toronto area, you will fucking come to it, because it's going to be great. The last thing I'll say about it, I guess, regarding tickets is we don't have day passes currently, but after we see how many tickets sell prior to the event, we will definitely consider just being like, hey, you can only come for one day on the weekend. Well, sure, $7 or whatever. But that's not for sure yet. It really depends on if we sell out the tickets or not.
Right, because if you do day passes, once you start doing day passes, I mean, you've got to account for that when you sell the group pass or the weekend passes.
Exactly. So we're gonna wait to see what we have left over, probably about 5-6 days before the event.
I don't think it'd be a bad idea to sell a day pass for the day of the finals.
Oh, for sure. Fuck, we might even let people in for free on the finals just because it's the fucking finals, man.
Yeah.
Hell no, dog. Charge those motherfuckers. Don't let them in for free. Actually, like, honestly, you have to be really careful with saying stuff like that. Like, if you start saying things like, we'll let people in for free, there are a lot of people who won't buy any tickets and will just wait for you to let them in for free, and then they'll
I want to confirm I'm not saying that we'll let it in for free. I'm just saying, like, I'm hyped for the finals.
Not only is he not saying that, he's not even going to do it. They're not considering it. If you want tickets, you better fucking buy them now.
Literally just to unfuck what might have happened because he said that, it's not going to happen now. So.
Fuck off. You guys for being fucks. Way to go.
But no, seriously, I mean, maybe charging day pass the day of, like, come to Friday, you know, no more weekend passes are sold, and, you know, you can come buy day passes kind of thing. You know, I mean, because let's say that, you know, they're not coming for Friday. If you charge $7 a day, that's $14 to still get Saturday, Sunday. You know, they just have to buy 2 tickets instead, kind of thing. So, I don't know. That's something you could do. Anyway, how long do you have, Graham?
I don't know. How long do we have? I don't know, like a couple minutes. I probably should just go.
All right,
to be honest.
Go ahead and give your shout outs and head out.
All right, thank you guys so much for having me on. I'm sorry that this was short. I actually thought it would be a little bit longer, but it's always great hanging out. We just, to be honest, I'm a little bit tipsy anyways, so it's probably the best that I leave before I do say something stupid. Just, I hope you guys will come to the live event. I hope you'll tune in online if you don't. Other than that, just, again, thanks for having me, and I'll see you later, dude.
Yep, glad to have you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Enjoy having your screen read just totally fucked!
All right, cool. Yeah, so screen regions are now fucked. You guys will have to excuse me while I readjust that. But anyway, you guys have any other thoughts before we move on, just about the event in general, or the ticketing, or any of that issue? Nope.
Oh no, like the tickets for $27. It's a 3-day or 2-day event, right?
Yep.
Is it 2-day or 3-day? 3-day.
It's 3-day.
So you definitely have to charge more than $7.
Well, I mean.
$7 per day if it's a $27 ticket. If the $27 ticket gets you 3 days, and then you could just, if they decide to do per day ticketing, it'd be cheaper.
I agree.
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. He said 7. I was using the number he said.
Yeah.
I know. My balls, man. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna take a second to readjust this. So while we do that, Destiny, what's your favorite class to play in Hearthstone?
I don't really have a favorite now. I've played a little bit of Mage, played a little bit of Hunter. And a little bit of Paladin. I don't know. I don't think I'm not attached to any class at the moment. I don't think.
Do you find yourself? I guess maybe you're just attached to the class that wins you the most.
Nah, I just try to play and learn the game. I still got like a lot of cards to learn and a lot of shit to learn. Like I still misplay even the few decks that I've had. So I'm just kind of playing, learning, and then maybe after this season, like maybe going into next month, I'll have more of an idea of what I like.
Have you thought about, or how do you like having, you know, your whole player base or your whole viewer base able to help you make decisions in Hearthstone, whereas, you know, you can't watch them and really make any decisions for StarCraft or League, but they can help you
for simple decks it's really good, but for more complicated decks it's really bad because the average player is pretty fucking stupid in Twitch chat, or even my chat is like even exceedingly stupid. But I mean, it's helped a lot in the beginning to learn the game. It definitely helped a lot, so yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me apply this changes. Boom. Look at that. All right, cool. So we are back on track. And next on the topic list, what do we have, boys? We have, all right, ESL has made a ruling on Adderall in esports. So let me just change the title. So we talked about this last week. We talked about, what Adderall is, the concerns about it, ESL ruling on it, things like that. And they have made the ruling. It's basically the same that the Major League Baseball in the United States uses. If you have a prescription for Adderall and you let us know before your first match starts, that's what ESL has said. You let us know before your first match starts, you're allowed to play. No issues, right? But they're going to be doing a mouth swab right before, I don't know, the day of the event. Like when you first get there, you're going to get your mouth swabbed. I don't know. They've also ruled, though, and this is one that's kind of curious to me, is marijuana. I mean, it's not a performance enhancer. Maybe someone does a light, puff to relax. Honest to God, I can't think of someone that's like, all right, I'm about to go play the match of my life. Let's get high kind of thing. But, Steven, do you think there's any issue with them testing for marijuana?
Seems absolutely fucking stupid. I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, I understand. Maybe it's because just to make them look like better. Never mind. I don't understand anything. Any excuse I could come up with is like a really negative one. So instead of being sarcastic and kind of dickish, I just won't say anything.
I mean, so the one thing that thinking about it, I would like if they were testing for like hard drugs, right?
Why?
Like
why does it, like how? Why
would
it
that
even
be any
relevant?
different?
Well, so
It's
here's
a waste of fucking money. Like it doesn't matter. Like nothing has ever helped it. Like this is just it's a huge waste of money. Like who the fuck cares if somebody fucking smokes marijuana? Especially because we're like video games. We're like on the cusp of like progressive like values and shit on the internet. Like the fact that like fucking a video game company or like a tournament that hosts video games start testing kids for fucking marijuana. Like maybe if this is like in the late '90s, I could see this happening. But like Jesus Christ, like come on, like states are legalizing and shit. Like do we really? Are we really doing this now? We're really going to be testing for marijuana? Like that's, it seems really stupid to me.
I agree.
Well,
I think
go
ahead.
Well, when they do the testing, like they need the results like right away, right? So when they have the people there, so they might as well just do something extra real fast, anyways. I don't know. Like how long does it actually take to do like a mouth swab and test it when they actually have someone there to do the piss test or whatever? No, not piss test for the Adderall, because they have to test for Adderall, don't they?
Yeah, I assume that.
So how does that go?
It's same. I assume it's the swab.
Yeah.
I assume that the swab is. I've never researched the swab, so I'm making an assumption. But I guess it's just things that are currently being metabolized would show up in your saliva. That's my guess. And I assume that it's just swab it and then they put it in a little, one of those plastic vials with a little liquid and it changes color if you pop for something. What I would say is, like, for marijuana, I don't care. I think that it would be stupid to test for. I think it's dumb to test for marijuana. But I will say, one thing I do kind of like the idea of, and this is, I don't want to, maybe Steven, you'll think that this is still too not the place for ESL, but I like the idea of policing esports. The behind the scenes of esports, kind of to not let it become some kind of drug culture. Like you go behind. I'm trying to think of how to word this properly, so it doesn't sound like I'm being too hyperbolic about it, but basically making it so that kids aren't. There are a lot of kids coming here, 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, so they're not coming into this kind of environment and then on like, hey, you want some coke, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, Zombie Grub is like hella fucking triggering me right now because I don't think she's ever talked to like any. Sorry. Oh man, what? I'm so wrestled today. What's the question? I'm sorry.
The question is like,
you were saying you don't want to turn into hardcore drug culture. It can't turn into a hardcore drug culture because if you want to be competitive in video games, you can't spend all of your time doing crack cocaine in your free time, right? Like you can't do that. It's a competitive arena. It's like you're like conceding that esports is a big fucking joke. Like, oh dude, like we got to drug test all these kids, otherwise like they're gonna go crazy and get high all the time and shit. And it's like, or do like no, you can't be a competitive. You can't be competitive in any fucking esport and spend your free time like fucking shooting up fucking heroin or like sneaking off into the bathroom in the ESCA or ESL fucking playoffs, like with your fucking spoon, like inhaling whatever. Like I think it's just silly. Like the we don't have a huge drug culture, and all this is going to lead to is some horrible fucking stupid dramatic event where there's going to be some 5v5 league or Dota or fucking CSGO or whatever the fuck ESL does, and somebody's going to get kicked off a team, and it's going to be because they fucking smoked marijuana like the day before, and the whole community's going to be in an uproar about like, why are we fucking throwing kids out of tournaments just because they're smoking marijuana? And it's like, oh, like I don't see anything good coming from this at all. Like, do you ever see any community on the internet these days? Do you ever see somebody being like, oh my god, I'm so glad we got that one guy smoking marijuana marijuana, and now we don't have him like as part of our community. Like, do you ever see the community reacting positively like that? Do
No,
you ever see that happen?
No, I agree with
Never, ever
marijuana.
happen.
I agree with you.
The only thing it's
100%.
ever come out with will be negative fallout. That's the only possible thing that could come is negative fallout. So why even like go down that path? It just seems like a really stupid thing to do.
Okay. Puck, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree mostly. I just don't think it's actually going to really cost much more money to do additional besides Adderall because they're looking for discoloration or whatever is different, and then if they see something different, then they're gonna just look into it to see what it actually is. So it's like I don't actually see it costing much more money at all, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to test for Adderall either.
All right, so what if, now with the Adderall though, there are some people that are worried that it's going to set a dangerous precedent. It's like, why even touch Adderall kind of thing? Because it's easy in America to get a prescription. It's easy for someone to say, oh, okay, I have to have a prescription. And now people are, it's might have some negative fallout. Do you think that there's any kind of negativity that can come from testing for Adderall, even if they're allowing people to play that do have a prescription?
I mean, sure. I mean, shit happens all the time, right? Like, say a favorite player just somehow manages to forget to tell them, or they were doing Adderall not too long ago for another event, and they told them, then just kind of forgot for the next one, then they just get completely screwed over, and there's gonna be an uproar, of course. I don't know.
Okay.
Adderall is extremely easy to get, so I mean.
Steven, I don't know what you're talking to Jess about. Do you want me to bring her on?
No.
Okay. All right, so continuing on. All right, so I guess that's the end of it. ESL has ruled they're going to do mouth swabs. I can't keep going because his typing is so loud.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm done. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, holy fucking shit! What was your 8 p.m.? All right, cool. So anyway, ESL has ruled on Adderall. If you have a prescription, bring it. Show them. You're good to go to play, right? No issues. If you smoke marijuana, however, you're going to get F'd in the A, and I assume they're testing for everything more than marijuana. Moving forward, Gamescom, we're not going to have my World of Warcraft discussion because fucking Graham is gone. But, Steven, did you get to check anything from Gamescom? Is there anything that you were particularly excited about, even outside of StarCraft?
Gamescom? I didn't look into anything about it, no. Sorry.
Nope, nothing. Puck, what about you?
Gamescom already happened?
Yes, there was IEM Gamescom, and then Gamescom.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was Gamescom or another one. I didn't actually watch like any of it.
Oh wait, the Star Citizen 2 wasn't at Gamescom, or not? I'm sorry, not Star Citizen. Star Citizen wasn't at Gamescom, was it?
Star Citizen? I don't know.
Is that relevant at all to this discussion? Okay, never mind. I saw the Star Citizen shit. Have you kept up on any of that, Puck or Jared?
I don't know. The only thing I'm excited about is Overwatch.
You fucking suck out fucking hole. I can't even believe you can talk with all that Blizzard dick in your mouth. Fucking kill yourself. What about you, Lycan? Anything for Star Citizen?
Is that like the MMO, that space MMO?
Yeah.
I don't know much about it.
Fuck both of you. Never mind. Forget everything.
I saw a really cool video of like space flight in it, but I really don't know anything else about it.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, mate. All right, so I guess Gamescom, there really isn't much of a discussion. Innovation versus Sue in the finals. Innovation won. There's a lot of talk about mech. Puck, from your personal, professional experience, I know you play Protoss, but do you think that mech is just way too overpowered? Is this
Yes.
all right? Well, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it's really stupid, honestly. There's nothing Zerg can really do. And like if they do, they have to play like 10 times harder than the Terran player, and that shit can be really annoying.
All right, so obviously I'm coming from a place of bias, but I'm genuinely curious. Do you think that one of the issues is that Zerg have kind of gotten this mindset that there's just not a build they can choose to counter it, but you know that they're not thinking outside the box and like, okay, I need to be able to tech switch more?
It's more of like there's things. It's more reliant on what the Terran player does. Like the Terran player generally has to mess up. Like if you're playing turtle style all game, then it's reliant upon the defender to really mess up, and without scouting or something stupid like mispositioning or something like that. And if they get to the max army, then all of a sudden there's nothing that Zerg can do.
Okay.
Really.
Steven, I don't think you've kept up on the meta, have you?
I mean, I haven't, but I've seen all the same argument. I mean, I can kind of imagine what it would be like playing it without Swarm Host. Like, fucking Mecha is insane, right? The Terran, the amount of scouting and defending, the defending for the Terran is fairly easy. The amount of scouting they have to do is incredibly minimal. The micro for the army is almost non-existent. Like, the amount of counterplay and shit that you have to do as Zerg in order to overcome it is pretty tremendous. Right? Like, it's still pretty much these same things, right? Or am I missing something? Or
Yeah. No,
Well,
that
it's,
sounds.
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I can imagine with that Swarm Host is probably a pretty brutal.
Because, like, Terrans were already doing that style while Swarm Hosts were still in play, and it still was just like a
viable.
an
It
hour
was
stalemate.
difficult, but yeah.
Okay. So I guess one thing I'd say this from my naive side of understanding the matchup at a higher level, but what the Zerg is still able, like Terran is still doing a lot of turtle mech. Yeah, they get a little bit of aggressive mech, but I think that Zerg is pretty decent at dealing with aggressive mech. What about the fact that they're able to take so many bases? You know, does that not lend them to a situation where they can punish Terran tech choices? So I know that, you know, it's hard for them to take really effective trades, right? But, you know, is it kind of them able to brute force the Terran army, I guess? You know, go heavy for one, knock out a certain tech, and then do a quick tech swap before, you know, Terran tries to...
The way I see it is, like, Terran only needs to get the 3 bases to actually get to the core comp that they want.
Okay.
And then once they get to their core composition, then they just slowly start taking more bases favorably.
Okay.
So.
All right, well, I guess that's a discussion that's going to continue to happen. I don't like how it comes up in the community. Like, it'll come up and it's like, oh my god, this is Satan, this is the end all be all of, you know, the death of TVZ kind of thing. The discussion, I think we're past, though, that last week, the people being upset with mech. There was a game versus Life, and Life, you know, he neural parasite on a couple battle cruisers. Everyone's like, oh my god, he even did that, and he still lost. I think we've gotten past that point. Now let's have the discussion. Let's figure out what we can do without, you know, extremely altering the game. Or maybe someone will just come out and be like, all right, I found the fucking key, right? Because maybe the tools exist. There's still a bunch of units in the game. Perhaps there's something to shift the meta. Who knows? But definitely a discussion worth continuing. Maybe next week we'll find someone, a Zerg and a Terran, to duke it out and just talk about it. But moving forward, I am Gamescom again. Terran won. Innovation, I don't think he abused mech too much. Did you get to watch the finals, Buck?
Like I said earlier, I didn't even know if it was Gamescom or another IEM.
Okay. Yeah, so he did play mech. He didn't play mech every game, but he did play mech, and it didn't seem like that abusive cancer mech that everyone very much dislikes. And if Avila was in here, he has me on Skype, and he could totally ping me. But I don't think he is, so we won't be bringing him in for the discussion. World of Warcraft, we're going to skip that. So the last thing we're going to talk about, I guess, is Legacy of the Void. And then we'll go to the questions. And you'll all be happy to know that I have Lupa, #1 fan, PMing me questions on Skype. He's going through them, and we won't have to deal with any of that BS. So, moving forward, next topic is going to be Legacy of the Void. Puck, you have been playing a lot of Legacy of the Void.
Yes.
From your perspective, since you're Protoss, we'll start with that. What are the strengths? Strengths that aren't overpowered. Like, what do you find is good about your race, but it's not something that's super abusive?
There's not much, I guess. Everything's been nerfed. Disruptors are shit. The only things Protoss has is Stasis Ward and Adepts, for the most part. And I don't think Stasis may necessarily be overpowered at all. They're easy. Like, if you have an Overseer, like, it may be hard for Terran, and that would be about it. Just because they'd have to constantly scan, and you can place a Stasis anywhere. But versus Zerg, like, all they need is an Overseer, and all of a sudden the Stasis doesn't do anything. And also Zerglings, like, run ahead and trip everything, so... There's definitely ways to effectively deal with Stasis Ward. But Adepts, on the other hand, are another story.
Okay, so what do you find yourself losing to most often?
I mean, I don't know if I want to reveal that information, Lycan.
All right, what do you see Protoss, other Protoss, losing to?
Well, other Protoss just lose to everything unless they Adept all in, so... I don't know. I feel like Nidus is very strong if you use Hydras and Queens and that stuff. And then versus Terran, Widow Mines are very powerful right now, with late transitions into EMP, of course. So.
Do you think in the Protoss matchup, do you think the Liberator is overpowered?
Versus Protoss?
Yeah.
For the meta that I do, they're not an issue at all. But I could see how it could be very annoying for other players because I don't think a Stalker can shoot at it if it's like behind the mineral line and there's dead space.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that could be a bit overpowered versus Protoss because you need to go to Stargate to even get to that.
Yep.
So, I mean, you're essentially just shutting down a whole entire mineral line fairly early in the game, and that'd be GG. But
okay. So what about have you watched a lot of professional people play? You know, the Lycan League and Legacy of the Ultras. Have you watched any of those games?
not really. I get all my information from Pyam, or TT1 rather, and he kind of keeps me up with up-to-date knowledge, so other than that, I have a few other people that help me out, like Z-Tocto, who is a regular viewer of mine, and he makes like spreadsheets or whatever and lists all the timings of everything basically, and watches all the streams and tells me what everyone else is doing, so I just follow that a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Let's see. You know, I wanted Graham here for this discussion because he watches all. You know, he casts the Ultras and the Lycan League, so I really wanted him to be here for that. So we're gonna have to cut this discussion short. Steven, you need to start playing it again, man. Your viewers.
What, Legacy of the Void?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Zerg's
I'll do
pretty
it.
good, man.
Yeah, the lurker seems broke as fuck. Like I played it for a day. Like it really seems like really stupid. Like if there's a Protoss army, like I just run like 10 lurkers to the side, bro. As long as like
Yeah.
5 are alive, like you lose absolutely everything. It's got like 10 fucking ranger or 9 range, right? And
It's
the shots
pretty
travel
good.
like so
It
fast.
takes 2 disruptor shots to kill one
Yeah.
as well. And
Um,
it's like a disruptor's 200, and you're 90% of the time going to lose that disruptor going that far in.
Real quick, I'm going to talk, before we go into questions, I'm going to talk about World of Warcraft because I want to. Bless your country and didn't get a lot of a chance to. And then I found StarCraft, so I had no time for it, right? But they've announced a new class. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go all out with this. We're going to pull it up. Screen capture. Kubins. There we go. All right, so World of Warcraft, they have a new class. It's going to be the Demon Hunter, right? And I really like about this is that they are keeping it. They're keeping it to the elves, right? So you can only be Night Elf and you can only be Blood Elf for it. And that kind of sticks with the lore. Yeah, there were a few other Demon Hunters throughout World of Warcraft, but in the lore and all that. But it's overall, it's supposed to be the fucking elves, right? Illidan was the Night Elf. That whole thing, right? So it looks pretty cool. They've got some neat abilities, of course, metamorphosis, you know, where you turn into that big giant demon and all that stuff. They've got different weapons now. They're going to be I can't remember what they're calling, legacy weapons or something like that. But they're supposed to be, from the video and the release and all that, they're going to be weapons that stick with you throughout the game. Like at some point you get the higher end weapon and then they just evolve, right? They keep getting more and more powerful and they just change until they have their final form, right? Not really many details about it, but you know, Ashbringer is a weapon you can't get in the game anymore, so I'm really excited about that. It makes me want to bring back my Paladin. Then the Broken Isles, that's going to be their new region. You know, the regions are pretty cool. Outland, I think through all the expansions, Burning Crusade was my favorite, and I think that new territory was the best. I didn't like the Isles for Mists of Pandaria, so not really a fan of that, but I'm hoping that this does as well. I also don't like the new Outlands, not a fan of it, but we'll see what comes with this. Then, you know, they're bringing in a bunch of different characters. Maeve, Shadow Song, and Gul'dan both made an appearance in Warlords of Draenor, but they didn't really have, you know, extremely huge roles. They were there. Illidan is probably coming back if you looked at the teaser trailer, so I'm excited for that. And then really they didn't announce too much. Oh, let's talk about the thing that has me the most fucking excited of all this shit. Puck, Steven, did either of you play World of Warcraft?
Nope.
I have a level 30
All right.
sorcerer.
So if you guys play World of Warcraft, the Emerald Dream, right? All those world dragons like Ysandra and all that stuff. Steven, you know this because you play Hearthstone, right? So you've seen Ysandra on all those different dragon aspects. The Emerald Dream is finally, after Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mist of Pandaria, and now Warlords of Draenor, 5 fucking expansions, we are finally going to have the Emerald
Have
Dream,
what?
which they've been promised us forever. So,
Thank God, dude.
Right?
Fucking after the Ruby and the Sapphire Dream, I thought the Emerald one would never come. Jesus. You know?
Anyway, that was my...
Are they increasing the level cap? I hate that you can only get to level
Yes.
70. It's like such a cock block or whatever, you know?
You level 100, but you're close. Not bad.
Oh, 100. Oh, wow, they already upped it. Nice. I only played vanilla WoW because that's the only good WoW, right? Am I circle jerking right yet?
No. Well, actually, yeah, the vanilla one. We can talk about the new shit they've done, but...
Yeah, it's all bad. Vanilla is only the best stuff ever.
All right, anyway. All right, we're done. You can stop posting the fucking sleepy dude in chat. We're done with World of Warcraft. This was going to be a better discussion with Rifkin here, but...
Rifkin fucking bailed. What else is new, dog?
Right?
What did you expect?
Anyway, so let's go to the questions. Looking at my questions that have been pre-checked. Do you see the possibility of player union or a player advocacy group of some sort forming anytime soon? Do any of you feel the need for such a union? Puck.
I think there's too much drama for union to work.
What? Wasn't that the point of the union?
It's a set of people who have a motive to work together to achieve better benefits, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, half the time people are like leaving teams every other month, no? I don't know.
Maybe you would buy certain people in the StarCraft 2 community, like Major or other people that I'm not allowed to mention, because if I do, it's just yeah, maybe like...
I could never see it working in like a scenario of StarCraft for a long time. Like, probably never.
Actually, one thing that would control that a little bit more, though, is that if you joined it, you would probably have to pay union dues, so maybe that would encourage players to jump around.
I feel like the age group is just too young. There's too much bullshit that happens, and I just don't see it.
Like, joining a union to protect your, like, $50 a month salary or whatever, like, the average salary, not 50 a month, but really less size, like, do you really want to be paying a union due out of that? Like, is it even worth it, you know?
No.
I could see that. I mean, but there could, to some extent, you know, that's always a consideration. You got to think about the possibility of dues as the union grows and people have to dedicate their time, you know, full time to the union. You have to consider that. You have to consider the negative impacts of the union. But at the same time, with us still being a fledgling industry, I mean, perhaps it's something that could be ran off volunteer time with certain people.
Is this a me question or a Puck question?
That's a either question.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was making fun of someone in chat. Can you repeat that? I'm really sorry. That was my bad.
Unions, right?
Yeah.
Now I've lost my train. Unions. All right. So yeah. People. That's something, you know, as the union would have to be huge, as it would get bigger, as esports gets bigger, right? Those unions would start to draw dues, but and need to draw dues. But do you think that now, as esports is still kind of small, that the big people that need a union, that could be done through some sort of volunteer organization? You know, people that just, you know, were fans of esports, they're lawyers, they're different kinds of things that could take time out of their day to help if there was ever an issue.
I don't know, man. Do you really want to get into like the union discussion? This is like a really, I feel like this is like a really big. What would be the purpose of a union? I guess like that's like what is why do we need a union? Would be the first question.
Let's
what are the problems that a union addresses that we have right now?
Fair treatment. So, for instance, look at the ESL is now going to be doing drug testing. That's a place where a union would be needed. If, you know, they're going to be wrongly accused, things like that, and it's going to affect their career, their ability to play, their team, things like that.
So at that point, what does a union do for you?
They provide legal representation. They advocate for your, you know, rights as a player to...
So if you make $200 a month as a team salary, you're going to join a union that can provide actual legal representation for you. Do you think that the union is going to have enough money to provide that kind of resources when the people that they represent are making salaries that are in like the 4-figure annual range? Do you think that the union is going to have the money to actually provide a service that the player is going to want to play for?
Well, so that's what I was saying with the esports being as small as it is. Would that be something that could be, you know, supported through volunteer work? Like enough lawyers who are fans of esports, you know, volunteering, or enough people who have money, aren't lawyers, but they can put towards, you know, a legal fund.
Sure, and that's kind of possible, but that at that point, well, no, because like the volunteering and everything, that gets like really weird. You don't want to do it on a volunteer basis, and I don't know if you even want people contributing money to a fund for it. like there's so many complications. What if you put a whole bunch of money in a fund and then somebody and then like Idra wants to play in a tournament and then he gets drug tested and they come back negative, but then Idra's got like a legit like a lot of people that don't like him, and then all of a sudden now people are like, well, hold on, I don't want the money put in that fund to go towards Idra. Like I think that he should have been banned. Like, or you know, like you run into so many different complicated issues. I feel there, you know, that yeah, it makes it really hard to.
Okay.
Makes it really hard to have that set up. Like, if there was more money involved, then this conversation changes completely, right? If we're talking about a bunch of people that have like good contracts where we're making thousands of dollars a month, then at that point, getting fucked out of a tournament is very, very, very important, okay? Like, if you're getting fucked out of tournaments, if it's impacting your salary and your team, like, it's very important. But when you're talking about people that are making, you know, like hundreds of dollars a month, like $200 or $300 a month, at that point, it's not really realistic to sacrifice any of your income for a union, and that union's not going to make enough money to provide a service that you would want to pay money for anyway, right? Like, I feel like there has to be more money involved in the scene before you would honestly, like, want to turn to a union, right? I think.
Okay. And I can see the logic behind that. Puck, do you have a thought before we move on?
I mean, if you were to form a union, it had to be revolved around the very best players, and there's not many. Like the lifespan of players is very short, anyways, in esports. So it's like.
Oh. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
But like, hang on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no guarantee you'd be paying for your union dues, and then having like zero guarantee of how you're gonna do in tournaments, anyways. So.
One of the big problems you'd have is that something that Puck brings up, sorry, about having like really big players being involved. The people that the biggest people that would support these unions don't even need them, you know? Like people like Artosis or Tasteless or Day9, like a lot of the personalities carry almost as much weight as some of these larger organizations, you know? Like, is ESL going to scorn Day9? And if they did, would Day9 need a union to back him up? Like, no, like it would be a huge community outcry, you know? So at that point, you almost don't even need, like, the union becomes worthless at that point just because the larger people wouldn't even need to be a part of it because they're huge anyway, you know? You would have to force everybody to opt in. You'd have to go like Obamacare, except Obama unionization, the Affordable Union Act for esports or some shit. You would have to force like everybody to get in on it.
If you don't have power of everyone, you don't have power at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Otherwise, the big players would never even join. Why the fuck would they join? Like, I would never join a union. Like, I can handle my shit on my own. And if stuff goes bad for me, like, I would just rile up my fan base or get on Twitter and, you know, start raging at people. And like, and there are a lot of people with way more sway than me or more pull than me who could do that as well. Who would never like Trick2G is not going to join a union, or, you know, Day9, Artosis, Tasteless, and I guess Rifkin now with all his dirty tournament money. Like, yeah, these people aren't going to be joining unions.
So,
like, fine, you know.
All right, Steven, what about someone just brought this up in chat? I'm sure you saw it. Just what if they talk everyone into it, right? So every major team in Counter-Strike, every major team in League, every major player in StarCraft 2 all join some sort of union, and it's to negotiate with ESL, DreamHack, Gfinity, Blizzard, Riot, all these people saying, hey, we're not going to participate in your tournament unless you provide these for us. Do you think there's power in that sort of aspect?
Yeah, if you can get every single person, this is the whole point of the Affordable Care Act, right? This is of the United States and trying to socialize healthcare. If you can get every single person on board, right? And Obama is doing it via like a tax penalty, right? If you can get every single person on board, then yeah, of course, it's an awesome idea, sure.
All right, and I think that's a good idea. And yeah, you know what? I can absolutely see that. I see it. Here's the thing, though. A lot of these things don't happen preemptively, right? They don't happen before something stupid happens. Someone's going to get screwed over by ESL or Gfinity, or, you know, everyone's been screwed over with pay and all that stuff before, right? Had delayed payments and all that. Things take years, $30,000, CEOs disappearing with all the team funds. That shit happens, right? One time, as esports gets bigger, there's going to be a huge incident. There might be 2 or 3, and then someone's going to say, okay, this is fucking enough, and they're going to quit whatever coaching job they have, and they're going to take all their time, whatever money they have saved up, and they're going to dedicate themselves to starting a union. Because you know what? Unions start in a good place. They start with the desire to help people that don't have representation, that are being controlled. You know, the unions started originally as a way to, you know, combat, you know, horrible labor and working conditions, right? And then they've evolved and blah blah. We can go into that debate another day. But to wrap this up, I think that a union is definitely possible and definitely something that should be looked into. But I hope whoever does it. Go ahead, Bob.
At the end of the day, the employer has to recognize it as a union, and the players are passionately trying to do their best to be the best player in the world. and I have a hard time believing that a player would back out of a tournament because the employer didn't recognize it as a union.
Say that,
Yeah, so what Puck is saying is everybody would have to be on board. Like,
yeah,
if
absolutely.
the tournament fucked a player over and everybody else wasn't willing to back out, then, you know, you would...
Well, they might not all back out of that specific tournament, but they might look at that incident after the tournament and say, you know what, we don't want that to ever happen again. And then someone, you know, that's motivated and charismatic, because that's, again, how unions start. You get that fucking person that goes around and is like, hey, we need to not let this happen. Are you in? Look at the power we could have. And then that's how it starts. It just takes the right event to trigger it. All right, so we good on that one?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think that we can definitely talk about that again. If we do, I'd like we've had this discussion. We had it one of the first 3 episodes when Red Eye was on, so I'd like to have him back on for it if we could. Let's see. Next question. What are your thoughts on a suggestion to be able to filter races on unranked matchmaking for better trading in StarCraft? Do either of you have an opinion on that?
You should be able to filter racists for sure. I hate people who are fucking racist on the internet. It's one of the worst things.
Wow. Wow.
What about the ladder, Steven? Do you think they should be able to filter races on unranked ladder?
Yeah, racism in ladder games. I'm sorry.
Why not overall?
But,
Why not have like an MMR per each race, per each
Yeah.
map?
Like, this is something that should happen, and it's something that, what's that guy is working on? Who's the guy's name? The messages, this one's Skype, the guy. PR guy that I used to make fun of all the time. But
Scion.
Yeah, he said that they're, working on implementing something like that, right? It already exists for, like, CSGO and shit, right? Where you can sort by map and shit. It's just a matter of getting whatever Blizzard developers to synergize with, whatever Twitch developers and get it implemented.
No. They're talking about, this guy's talking about when you're on ladder playing unranked. You being able to choose what races you're going to meet up. So let's say you're trying to work on your PvP.
I thought you meant sort by race on Twitch. I don't know where I got that from. I'm sorry.
No.
You sort by which race you can meet?
Yeah, so like if you're playing, you click unranked, and then you uncheck like Terran and Protoss because you need to work on your ZVZ.
Oh,
but it's only unranked.
Sure.
Puck, do you see an issue with that?
Yeah, I'll repeat the question real fast. I had to talk to someone real
Oh
fast.
my fucking god.
You're playing on.
If you're playing unranked, you'll be able to choose which race you want to queue against.
Why not just do it with ranked? Like,
Well, because if you did it with ranked, I'd never play my
Yeah, but like if you separated every MMR per matchup, it wouldn't matter. You'd have
Every MMR matchup?
Yeah, per matchup.
So
So when you look at someone's stats, you'll see how well they do versus each race, and they'll have like a.
That sounds like I mean, that sounds. I get what you're saying. I think that might be too complicated for Blizzard
It
to
might
get on
be.
board
Yeah,
with that.
I can. Yeah.
Like
I can
you wouldn't
see
be able to
that.
get promoted until all 3 MMRs match up and reach a certain threshold.
Yeah.
And you're like,
What the fuck?
yeah, it would be complicated.
Yeah,
But,
at least do it for unranked. I don't know.
yeah. So I like the idea. I think for unranked it wouldn't be an issue because you know you're still going to be putting yourself in the player pool for ranked and unranked.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be an issue. Do you guys have any thoughts on TI5? I didn't get to follow it, but someone wants to know if you guys have any thoughts on it. Just was it a great tournament? Did you watch it? Going once, going twice.
I heard it had a lot of viewers, and I heard it had a lot of money involved.
17 million.
It's a lot of money, dude.
Fuck yeah, it is. All right. Let's see what else we got. We talked about Adderall. Oh, this Friday is the Red Bull Archon qualifier. This is the last one. If you have a friend, if you're a decent player, go play. There are people that are no names that make it to very deep runs in the bracket. You never know. You might, there's still an evolving meta. If you get some crazy strategy,
I'm
it'll
not
work.
sure if they're no names, man.
Well,
I played
Yeah, dog.
a-
You're being pretty offensive with who you're calling a no-name. You better check your fucking attitude.
What I mean is they're not professional players that are known by people. They're people that might play high up on ladder and they're making deep
Okay,
runs
so
in
what
the
does
bracket.
it take to be a professional in the eyes of fucking Lycan?
I know some people.
You know
who've made
exactly
$0
what I mean.
in tournament
You know
winnings.
fucking exactly what I mean.
Who are really good players. I mean, I'm just curious, like, how does Lycan define a professional player? Please tell me, do I meet your standards or whatever? Can you tell me, or?
Yeah, sure you do.
Okay, wow, thanks.
You're welcome. Next question.
We didn't even answer the question.
It wasn't a question. It was just an announcement that
Okay.
that Red Bull's thing is Friday. Definitely check it out. Sign it up. Did you guys play Warcraft 3?
Nope.
I
Okay.
played
you
Risk.
plug?
I played Risk Devil.
Is that like a
I'm
custom game?
I was pretty good at it. You have to micro your big ships back and forth and shit.
Never played
cool.
that.
It's RTS.
So do you guys? All right. So if Blizzard creates Warcraft 4, would either of you go for it? Like, would you try to make a jump, or would you try it out? It's that we'll see a big game developer make an RTS game anytime soon. Or would you say that StarCraft 2 is the best RTS ever? So first, I mean, we have Atlas, which is being made by Day 9. I don't know the company that's making it. I don't know what they've made before. But I mean, there are people making RTSs. Who made Blue Glob? Boo? You know what I'm talking about.
Idea.
Grey Goo?
Yeah, there we go. Grey Goo.
I don't really know Lycan, but I'm gonna go ahead and look it up real fast. Grey Goo developer is Petroglyph Games.
I'm not familiar with them.
They made Grey Goo.
All right. I make Grey Goo too.
Yeah,
It's
interesting.
Anyway,
yeah.
do you think that StarCraft 2 is the best RTS ever? Since StarCraft 2 is my only RTS.
No, I gotta give it hands down to Total Annihilation. Best game ever.
Never played it.
It's so fun. You just make a bunch of static defense and just watch everything blow up.
Okay.
Sounds like a game.
No, you have like these cannons that
like-
shoot like all the way across the map. It's pretty sick, man. And there's like misfire, so like nothing's accurate, so it's pretty intense, I guess, to say the least.
Puck,
What's up?
do you think that if this newly designed Reaver, if it is unsuccessful, do you think Blizzard should just go for the, I'm sorry, not Reaver, Disruptor. Do you think if that fails, they should just go for the Reaver?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I would rather just see the Reaver anyways. Just get rid of it now.
I mean, the design that they're going for, it sounds like a Reaver. It's shooting a
It
projectile.
essentially is the Reaver, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just do it.
What if we just bring all of the old Brood War units back? I would surely make everything. Sorry, I love you.
Steve, is YouTube actually a live yet for their gaming platform?
Not yet, but soon, TM. I think this summer is still what they're going for. Could be wrong.
Yeah. All right. So we have no thoughts on that, guys. It's not out yet. We've already discussed on a few different episodes just what it could be because it's YouTube and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got. All right. So I think that's actually it for questions, guys. So we're ending the show earlier than we normally do.
Wow, this is it. We're all done.
Yeah, we're done.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? I don't know, anything bothering you? Anything you want to talk about? Trigger warnings?
Oh. No. I don't think so.
Puck, anything you want to talk about?
I don't know.
No?
Hey, I am selling a new T-shirt. I've been in a really bad mood like the past 2 days. I'm sorry. I'm really grumpy all day today. I'm sorry, Zombie Grub, for outlashing at you. I'm selling a new T-shirt though. It's actually really, really, really cool. Check this shit out. Look at that shit. Oh my god, this... And it's $1 cheaper than my last shirt. Look how hard I work to bring you guys the best of the
Wow.
best. I know, right?
Okay, I like that. I think that's the one I voted for. Did you change the design after, like, or was this the one way it was submitted?
I had my artist go through and tweak some things.
There was one that, like, I knew you wouldn't make into a shirt, but I can't remember which one it was, but I think it had something to do with autism.
What is the thing on the right with your
That's
face?
like the little lizard dude.
Oh,
Yeah, he's cute.
I thought he was green.
Oh, man. I'm gonna black out the screen real quick so I can go to Skype. Give me 1 second, folks.
Why? Oh, I mean, I guess I can like this in the... There you go.
Yeah, you can link in the chat. So there you go. There's Destiny's T-shirt. I guess I didn't buy another one. Are you wearing you're wearing your first one right now, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess I am. I like this guy. I've actually gotten, like, multiple compliments in real life on this shirt. I don't know if it's because people see it and associate it with me, or if... I don't really know, but it's pretty funny.
When I went to the Blizzard Summit, I wore that the first day just so you could be there with us.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, buddy. So, anything else other than the dank T-shirt? Are you doing anything soon, or streaming, or
I don't even know, dude. I'm just kind of, yeah, I'm just kind of chilling out, you know, just being a little memester in general. You know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you. Puck, what about you? You going anywhere? You gonna go to Base Trade's event?
Yeah, I'm playing in Base Trade's event, man.
Oh, that's right, you qualified.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm
Fucking.
gonna win the whole damn thing.
We've already talked about the macro mechanics, boys. Steven, I don't know if you knew this, but they did pull the trigger on them. They're gonna pull out.
Yeah, I saw that they're, yeah, the next update is.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see. You gonna play to see what it's like?
Yeah, I mean, I probably will. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Puck, give your shout outs. Tell people where they can find you. We're gonna fucking end this.
Shoutouts to Flipside. My team, pretty awesome. Shoutouts to my family. I saw a couple of them watching and chatting in the chat, so they're all pretty amazing as well. And then, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at PuckSC2 and Twitch PUCKK, and cheer for me at Base Trade's event, I guess.
Hills, yeah. Steven, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me on my website, Destiny.gg. All the links to my social medias at the top.
Cool. Are you gonna stream after this?
Probably not.
Puck, what about you?
What about you, Puck? Are you gonna stream, you fucking piece of shit?
Oh,
Just
I mean,
tonight,
probably
just
like
trying
an
to get
hour.
viewers. Unbelievable.
Oh well,
Jesus
you know,
fucking Christ.
then
Oh, shit, man.
we're gonna be dank, and we're gonna find a random streamer just to give them some love. But cool. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. Thank you all for watching. If you have Twitter at LycanGTV, I would very much appreciate a follow. There you go. It's at LycanGTV, same as the channel. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. VODs will be up maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Depends on how screwed up. Twitch has been fucking up VODs lately, and I'll cut them up, and then I'll release one, and it will show the entire thing, right? So it won't show what I cut up. It won't show the highlight. It'll show the entire fucking VOD. So if that happens, I do apologize, but I do try to cut them up into segments. So anyway, I'll find someone to host. You guys have a good night, and thank you for stopping by. We'll see you soon.
I love you all.